Hey everyone, so The Last of Us 2 is returning in less than 2 months for a second season, and in this video I want to cover potential theories on how much of the game's events will be covered and how they might portray it in a season show format. So, among the information that we know, it is confirmed that Last of Us Part 2 story will be told over multiple seasons, which is to be expected as the game's story is twice the length of the first game. But the big question is how will the split Personally, I feel like the show will benefit by deviating from the game and providing a parallel perspective approach, where Ellie and Abby's story run side by side instead of being split across 2 seasons. Instead of waiting until season 3 to see Abby's side, such as in the game when they reach the theater, I think providing a parallel perspective of Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3 between Ellie and Abby's perspective will be more immersive in a show-like format and allow us to get a balanced narrative to make Abby's arc feel connected from the start while also highlighting Abby's thirst for revenge. However, another potential approach is that it sticks to the game and seems to focus entirely on Ellie's perspective as the first half of the game, following her journey from Jackson to Seattle as she hunts down Abby and the wolf. The structure would mirror the first half of the game and build up to the intense showdown at the theater, giving us time to explore Ellie's relationship with Dina, Jessie, and Tommy, while providing further expansion on Joe and Ellie's time in Jackson. If HBO goes this route, the season 3 would then shift to Abby's side of the story, providing backstory on her relationship with Owen, allowing us to develop a deeper connection to those characters as well. However, given what we know about the game's reception, leaving us fans with an abrupt cliffhanger that alludes to a multi-episode backstory for Abby for forthcoming season risks making the gap between season 2 and season 3 very polarizing. While The Last of Us is all about being polarizing and challenging its fans, it may further perpetuate the negative connotation associated with the game and dampen the hype leading up to the third season. One thing we can definitely expect, how HBO will expand the story just like they did in season 1. We get more backstory for Joel and Ellie's time in Jackson, additional backstory for Abby and her time in the Wolves, and deeper character development for the side characters like Dina, Jessie, Lev, and Yara. Expanding the world could also make the story even richer, helping smooth the transition between Ellie and Abby's perspectives. However, one particular aspect I'll be keen to see is flashbacks of Joel and Tommy following Sarah's death, providing us with deeper depth and new information regarding Joel and Tommy's relationship and how they ended up where they were before meeting back up at Jackson. Now, spoilers if you have not played the game yet, but Joel's death is one of the most pivotal moments in The Last of Us Part 2, and how HBO chooses to handle it in Season 2 would significantly impact the show's emotional weight and structure. There are two main ways they could approach it. They can replicate the game by placing it at the very beginning, or delay it until later in the season to build a more deeper emotional connection between Joel and Ellie, but also our connection towards Joel as Pedro Pascal's character. Now, as most of you know, in the game, Joel is killed within the first couple of hours, setting Ellie on a revenge quest almost immediately. If HBO follows this structure, we can expect his death to occur within the first episode of 2 of Season 2. This would keep the story aligned with the game and allow the show to dive straight into Ellie's journey and keep it coherent with the game's events. This approach makes sense because Joel's death is the catalyst for the entire story. Delaying it too much could weaken the emotional impact of Ellie's revenge arc. However, it may be beneficial in the fact that it can provide greater screen time for Ellie and Abby. However, for those who have not played the games, an immediate death of Joel might feel too abrupt for those audiences, especially those who have only known Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us and have grown attached to his character for a short period of time, compared to the games where vicariously experiencing Joel provides a deeper sense of connections. Thus, HBO might expand on Joel and Ellie's time in Jackson before the tragedy, giving more viewers time to feel the depth of their bond before it's ripped away by killing off Joel later in the season. Nevertheless, I think the safest bet for HBO would be that Joel will be killed off early, but providing a deeper introspection into his and Ellie's backstory in Jackson following up to his death, fleshing out their bond while also highlighting the tensions that arose from the Firefly event 20 years ago. Another thing to consider is how will they depict the scene itself. In the game, Joel's death is brutally violent, with Abby executing him right in front of Ellie. The show can decide to lean on this brutality and emphasize the shock and horror, or it can take a more cinematic approach, perhaps cutting between flashbacks, slowing down time, and focusing more on Ellie's reaction to the violence itself, similar to how in Sam's death in Season 5, and Ellie was focused on Ellie rather than Joel. Regardless of what happens, Joel's death will be one of the most defining moments of the season, and the way HBO handles it will set the tone for the rest of the show. So it's safe to say that with at least 2 seasons confirmed, The Last of Us Part 2 story will get the time needed to flesh out the character arcs of Ellie and Abby, but also flesh out the side characters such as Jessie, Dina, and Owen. I personally think season 2 should focus a split narrative perspective, both focus on Abby and Ellie's journey throughout Seattle, with a lead up to the climax in the theater ending off the cliffhanger for season 2, leaving us wanting more for season 3, while also provocating the key narrative points such as Ellie's brutal revenge arc, Abby's desire for revenge for Ellie to kill for killing her friends, while also highlighting the brutality of Joel's death. But how do you think they'll highlight the new season? Please feel free to drop your comments and let me know. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you.